Hi Monique. For my project, I decided to do a media review, and the article I chose was from the Vancouver Sun. It's called BC's Tourism Industry Bloodied by Recession, but Unbowed. It's written by Evan Lovelace. It's interviewed Evan Lovelace. There were many articles that I considered for this project, but I decided to choose one that focused on the economic impacts on British Columbia's tourism industry. Choosing this article was interesting for me because I tend to misunderstand articles that are based on economic factors, and it was surprising to me how clearly the message was conveyed, and the piece is well written, it flows easily, and makes it a great read. So a bit about the summary of the article. It was written by Sean Connor. He's a special to the Vancouver Sun, and the article is fairly current. It was published in May of this year. It refers back to the recession of 2009, and they share some views of Evan Lovelace, who's the executive director of the Wilderness Tourism Association of BC. And that just goes to say that the province has really survived things such as increased costs of travel with airfare and the introduction of that dreaded HST. And Lovelace liked to say he wants to use the term resiliency in referring to BC's way that they dealt with everything. And they've been able to weather recessions and things like that fairly well, and he thinks we're really adaptable. And I really liked that. I think that really spoke true to what we are. The article goes on to explain the competition for tourism that BC is facing, such as Europe's travel industry, the strength of the Canadian dollar, slow economic recovery in the US, they're not coming up here as often, and economic turmoil in Europe, and also an increase in fuel prices. The piece explores these topics while citing tourism experts, and then concludes with Lovelace recommending that the BC tourism industry needs to adapt and revamp its image. So a little bit of analysis. I was already aware of some of the things that they spoke about, but I found out some new things too, and I knew that the tourism industry obviously survived the recession because we're still here and we're still going for it, but I found it also very encouraging that it just did so well after 2009, and we can still overcome it and move on. And as a hospitality student and young professional, sometimes I feel uncertain on how reliable this industry could be, so that was very good to hear. It also brought out the hot topic, this article brought out the hot topic of the moment, which is the expensive airfare out of YVR. And in the past few years, I've flown out of YVR just only once, while every other time I've been departing from Bellingham or Seattle, because you save about $400. And so, you know, if a tourist can fly to Seattle and save $400, why wouldn't they? And since Seattle has a similar tourism model as we do, why would they make the drive up here and go through the hassle of border lineups? I mean, that being said, there's a new opportunity on the horizon. Vancity Buzz, which is a great blog that I follow for Vancouver, says that Vancouverites and other Western Canadians may soon have a new low-cost option for air travel that doesn't require crossing the border. And a group based in Vancouver is looking to launch an ultra-low-cost carrier next year for an airline. So this would be a great step in the right direction for everyone. Another interesting aspect of this article was how Connor revealed that BC needs to focus on attracting the European market. I did not realize that Eastern Europe was a competitive threat to us, and after reading more I realized how they are. Goes into a little bit more about that, and then it talks about how much money the tourism industry is making for us, and I want to highlight this because it's encouraging me that I chose the right career. And I'm sure that many young students feel this way. And also because of the passport requirement and the at-par dollar, BC has lost some traffic from the US. And I found this was surprising to me because in our program we said that the passports were opening up and things were coming through faster. So I thought that it was funny that it was going both ways. In conclusion, the article is both informative and interesting, and it touches on many aspects of the hospitality and tourism industry that I believe are important. Although parts of it were unnerving, all in all it solidified that I made the right choice in tourism, and I also learned that there are many articles out there for me to find, and having that information at my fingertips is invaluable. I'm excited for what the next year will bring in the tourism world. Thank you.